Hello students, good evening. Here I'm discussing syllable counting, different methods of syllable counting. So let us see what are the methods which are very important for exam point of view and for pronunciation and writing work as well. So let us start. To count syllables, you can use several simple auditory and physical methods or follow a more complex set of written rules for greater accuracy. So, broadly, we can say that there are three methods: simple auditory method, physical method, and that's a some method where you have to follow the set of rules, right? Written rules, that is writing method, we can say. So there are three rules. First is simple auditory method, means when you listen and you can count the syllable. And physical methods, there are some physical methods, and writing rule, based on writing rules for greater accuracy, right? Now, an easy rule of thumb is that the number of syllables in a word is equal to the number of vowel sounds. So, number of syllables, right? That's a very basic and very good idea. That's a number of syllables and number of vowel sounds. These are equal. So this way also you can remember the syllables in a word, right? You know that syllable is the block building of the word, or it's a very fundamental unit of the word, right? So that's a word can be can cut into the pieces, and then you can count the syllable. And before proceeding, let me tell you that syllable is counted uh, as the vowels, like how many vowels are used in in the word. Generally, number of vowels we have seen and number of syllables, but every time it does not happen. Suppose in case of book, so here two vowels are used, so but sound is just one vowel. So important thing is that syllable, when we count syllable, definitely we have to see the spelling. So written work is also important, and spoken part is also important. So that is, we have to know the pronunciation. Actually, that's how the word is pronounced. On the basis of pronunciation, we decide that how many syllables are used in the word, right? So let us see. First is that's a first method is that's auditory and physical methods. So auditory is something listening, right? So that's a first is that auditory and physical methods. So what are they? We are going to see. Uh, these methods are intuitive and work best for simple familiar words which are frequently used, right? So that's a for those words which are oftenly used in our day to day life, right? So here these methods work, right? So let us see. First is clap method. So usually kids are taught this way. That's a how to pronounce, because if you have syllable counting, if you have knowledge of syllable counting, so it will be very helpful for pronunciation, for remembering spelling and all, right? So children are taught this way, but yes, this is the first method which is workable, which is very important. First is that's the clap method, right? As name suggests, that's a clap method. So how it works, that's a say the word out loud, right? So first you have to say the word loud, right? And clap your hands once for each distinct vowel. So then you have to clap for distinct vowel sound, right? So that is important. How it works, that clap method, that you have to clap for distinct vowel sound, right? As you listen, and then you have to clap, right? Example, banana, right? So that's a you would clap three times. B, na, and na, right? So that's a banana, right? This way, this is three syllable word. Banana, three syllable word. Okay. Now, best for young children and for counting syllables in words that are already familiar. So that I told you that's a youngsters and kids actually are usually taught for this method. Now another method is chin method, right? Chin method or chin drop method. This is how it works. Place your hand flat, right? Palm down. So your palm must be down and your hand this way. That's a uh, like you have to place your hand under your chin and say the word slowly and count how many times your chin drops and touches your hand, right? Simple method. Suppose if you say that important, right? So please put your hand under your chin and then important, this way. So three syllable word. Place your hand flat, palm down, palm must be down, and under your chin, say the word slowly and count how many times your chin drops and touches your hand. So that syllable will be counted this way. Example, important. Right? So for important, your chin will drop three times, right? So here, in case of important, so that's a chin important. So that's a three syllabic word. A physical self-checking method that relies on the natural movement of your jaw during speech, right? So this is a physical method because we use our hands and chin, and this by through this method we can count a syllable in a very natural way. Okay. Okay, now moving to next method, that's a listen method, right? So suppose if it is possible, you can use this method, listening method. How it works? Say the word aloud and listen carefully for separate vowel sounds, right? What the vowel sounds? A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y, because Y is pronounced as sometime as I, right? So y, in case of y, that's a yet. Here y is pronounced as year, but here year, y is pronounced as e, right? And in this case busy, y is pronounced as, that's a I. Y is pronounced as I. So then in such cases, such words where Y is pronounced as I, that will be counted as a vowel, right? So listen method, that's a you have to word aloud, say the word aloud and listen carefully for the separate vowel sound. So that's a, if we say the celebrate, right? So that's a celebrate, है ना? Celebrate, celebrate. In the word celebrate, you would hear three separate vowel sounds. You have to focus on vowel sound. Cell, one matra, e, brate, right? So you can think about this vowel also. But mind you, this vowel does not have a sound because this is the silent E. So here, what's the louder, what's the words vowel which are pronounced cell, E, braid. Braid is pronounced like this way. Braid. Okay, so just please take care. That's a braid is pronounced this way. Braid. I'm writing it again. Wait a minute. Yeah, that is braid. Braid. So how many syllables are here? That's a verse, just one syllable. Though it is written brate, but the sound is braid, and one vowel is used for braid, so it will be counted as one. And that is developing an intuitive sense of words, rhymic beats, right? Just see when we sing a song or something, so for this we can use such method where syllables can be counted very easily. So that is called listening method, where important thing is that where you have to say a word aloud and listen carefully for the separate vowel sound. You have to focus on the separate vowel sound, right? So that's very important. Vowel sound, we know that a, I, o, u, and sometimes y, when y is used as I, right, then y will be counted. Okay, now next method is that's a the robot speaking method. Robot speak method means when you just imagine that's a machine is speaking. Okay, how it works? Speak the word like a robot with a clear pause between each syllable. The number of word parts you produce is a syllable count, right? Row, boat, two parts. Row, boat, right? So you can imagine robot, you are a robot, and when you are speaking slowly word out, the word you are speaking loudly a word robot. So this way you have to focus on the vowel sound, and then there are robot is the two syllabic word, right? Final, final, two syllabic word, final, right? Final. Spelling, don't go with spelling, go with the sound. So that's a fi, I, null, right? Final, final, right? Final. So here two, uh, two, five, that's a diphthong will be counted as one, and number two. So this is two syllabic word because two vowels are used, है ना? Okay, making the pause between syllables more distinct and easier to count, right? So that is also one of the methods. Written methods and rules, here you have to uh, listen very carefully and then do writing practice. These methods are more accurate for unfamiliar, longer, and more complex words. That was the upper one, was the simple methods where you just use um, clap method or chin method, right, and listen method, robot method. But for written method, that is used for the words, when these methods are more accurate for unfamiliar, longer, and more complex words, right? So tough words we can say, which are not used frequently, and little bit longer words, right, complex words. For these words, written methods are very useful, because we have to learn rules, right? What are they? Let us see. That's a, as they account for silent vowel and vowel pairs, right? Actually, these methods are used for mainly very useful for silent methods, silent vowels, where vowels are silent, and sometimes vowel pairs. So we had already discussed here little, but now let us see first where some vowels are silent and some vowels are in team or in pair, which is called vowel team or vowel pairs, right? So let us see first rule, first method or first rule. So what's the first rule? Count the vowels. So here first rule is simple. That's a count the vowel. Count all the vowels A, E, I, U, O, U. The word. This is your starting number. How? First is the word beautiful, right? Five syllabic word. So you just uh, filter out the EU, right? So that's a one, two, right? I'm doing it again. How many vowels are? So you just have to filter out the vowels. One, two, three, four, five. Right? E, A, U, I, U. These are the five vowels are used. Five vowels. So that's a count the vowels. So first is very simple. That's a you just underline the vowels, and sometime it is usable and it is useful for counting the syllable, but not always. Why? Because there are different types of words also. For example, adjust for special case. Modify your initial vowel count by applying the following rules. So that we should know, right? Adjust the special cases, because in a special cases where modify your initial vowel count, right, by applying the following rules. So that rules are very important. We are going to discuss here. First rule is that's a subtract the uh, for silent e, right? Silent e at the end of the word, because though in spelling e is used, but that e is mute, it does not pronounce, right? That is the silent e. So what should we do? What's the rule for silent e? So that a silent e at the end of the word does not form its own syllable. So that is silent. That is not playing any role for making syllable, right? Example, cake. It's not kk. It's cake. E is silent in this case, right? So example, cake. Example, example, cake, and example itself, example. So here also e is silent, right? E is not pronounced. That e so that's a e is silent. It's not example, right? Has two vowels. In this method there are two vowels, a and e, but this e is silent. But final e means last word of the word, last letter of the word, that is silent. So you subtract one, the syllable count is one, right? So here you subtract the one and syllable count is one. Why? Because it's cake, right? Cake. So it's a cake, cake. So it is diphthong and it will be counted as one. It's not KK, it's cake. E is silent. So that E should be minus. Another thing, another rule we have to keep in mind, subtract one diphthong or vowel team, right? Vowel teams or diphthongs, same vowel teams or diphthong. So diphthong is means two monophthongs, or vowel teams means two vowels at least, right? Diphthong means we are talking about phonemes, we are talking about IPA symbols, right? So that's a vowels, diphthongs, monophthongs, and diphthongs. When two monophthongs are used together are called diphthongs, right? Or sometime in words we use two vowels together. So that's in that case what should we do? A diphthong is when two or more vowels together make a single sound, right? So diphthong is written two or, right, two diphthong, two monophthong or more vowels together make a single sound. So that's a diphthongs means two monophthongs, or sometimes two vowels are used but that make a single sound. Important is that's a single sound, that make a single sound, right? So that's what should we do. Example is beautiful. Earlier we have seen that word, but here this how many count in beautiful? Just three, right? So we have to see the beautiful. That's a three sound. What is this? The syllable beautiful. So that's a EU, right? EAU, not BAUT, not full. This is not sound. That's a single sound. EAU, B, right? And EAU, Bu. Sorry. B is pronounced as by B. Okay, beautiful, right? So that's a interesting, and we have to know that's a beautiful. Okay, so beautiful. Okay, so here in this case we have EU, bu, right? So when you write, so it will be written at bu. That's a bu. Then T, full. So three syllable word. I'm repeating it and then make it more clear. That's a when you write beautiful, so that will be written this way. I tell you. Spelling is beautiful. But when you do a phonetic transcription of it, so it will be EAU, right? EAU is pronounced as beau. This is year, beau, then T, then full. Okay, so that how are they? That's a U1, T2, and full. So how many vowels are there? Three vowels. So please take care, right? Beautiful. Now next method is, that is add one for Y, right? One vowel for Y. When it acts as a vowel, when y's act as a vowel, then we should count y is a single vowel. The letter functions as a vowel when it makes a long I or long E sound, right? Rhythm, there is no traditional vowel, but y acts as one, right? So you would count two syllable. How? I tell you. The letter Y. Sometime in some spelling, Y is pronounced as I. Right? For example, nitty gritty. Right? So that's a nitty gritty. Important. Right? Nitty gritty means important. So here Y is pronounced as matra. Y is pronounced as matra. That's a Y. Okay. Another example, that's a lady, है ना? So for lady, that's a Y is pronounced as Y, right? So here Y will be counted, right? So what they are saying, that they are saying the same, that the letter Y functions as a vowel, right? When it makes a long I or long E sound, right? Example, in the case of rhythm, there are no traditional vowel. Vowel is not used here, but then Y acts as one vowel. So you would count two syllables. So rhythm is the two syllable word. How? Rhythm. In this case, there is no vowel. There are some words in which vowels are not used in dictionary. Less words, but yes, Christ and so many other words are there where no vowel is used. But then uh, here in this case, in this word, that's a y is, that is rhythm. If you do phonetic transcription, so that's a rhythm, rhythm, right? So that is this, in this case, rhythm. How many? Re and dum. So two vowels are there, rhythm. Okay, so that is another method. Then last method is add one. uh, Earlier we subtract e. Now here add one for le ending. Means when uh, word ends with le, so it will be counted as one syllable. Why? I tell you. If a word ends in a consonant plus le, consonants plus le, c plus le, there are some words where uh, word ends with consonant which is followed by le, right? Like bul, kal, words, right? File, fal, right? And the letter before the le is a consonant. Means condition is c plus le. These words with c plus le at last, right? So that it forms its own syllable. I tell you example: table, 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 right? So what's the sound? Table. Why? Because E is silent. Table, it's not table, table. But here it will be counted, though there is no syllable, no vowel in between. There is no vowel here in this B and L between here. That's a vowel, but here no vowel is used. But then it will be counted as one syllable, one vowel, a syllable. Why? Because button, right? So that's a another example. Button, button, right? So that's a button, button. Okay. So in this case, and then ton. So that's a, sorry. I'm extremely sorry. It is not that. Wait a minute. Button, button, right? Oh, button, button. No, it's not. Button. So that's also two syllable word. Why? Because here b and ton. There is no vowel in between t and n, but it will be counted as one vowel. So that is another rule. That's a pattern you should remember. That's a suppose in a word pattern is that's a consonant and le. The word ends with consonant and then followed by le. Then le will be counted as one syllable, right? So this should be uh, kept in mind. Now the importance of context and pronunciation. Ultimately, syllable counting is based on a word's sound, not its spelling alone. We have discussed already that the syllable counting is not based on word sound, based on word sound, not its spelling alone. Means it is more and more sound rather than spelling, right? And if a word is unknown, using a dictionary that shows phonetic transcription is the most reliable method. I try to give you example of phonetic transcription. That's the most reliable method. Example: thought has five vowel but is only one syllable. So that which is only clear by knowing its pronunciation. Good example, I tell you. Thought, right? In thought, right? What's the spelling of thought? This is the thought, THOUGHT, right? So what they say that thought has five vowels but is only one syllable. Okay. Thought has thought, thought. Okay. But if you do phonetic transcription of thought, so that is thought. right? So this is whatever the spelling, but how many vowels are used? One. So this word is one syllable word. Okay. So that is something I tried to explain. Thank you so much. You can ask any question, I would try to reply. Thank you so much. God bless you.